to the finish. Everything's hanging in the balance.
It is a date abolitionist Frederick Douglass calls greater than July 4th, 1776. In mid-afternoon on the first day of 1863, President Abraham Lincoln has just penned his name to the Emancipation Proclamation. With his signature, Lincoln proclaims more than 3 million slaves in the rebelling states to be forever free.
When Lincoln issued the Emancipation Proclamation, he now fundamentally brought together the cause of union and the cause of ending slavery. These two causes that he had not fused at the beginning of the war now came together. And so what this meant for the North and for these Northern soldiers, that when they said they were fighting for the Union, they are now fighting to end slavery. So the meaning of the war changed in a pretty dramatic way.
Lincoln's signature is a history-making exclamation point to nearly 2 years of civil war. When the war began, Americans in North and South believed it could be decided by a single grand battle. By the end of 1862, it seemed as if the very gates of hell had been pried open. The battle casualties were numbers no American, North or South, could ever have imagined. A 2-day battle in western Tennessee in a place known as Shiloh left more than 24,000 killed, wounded, or missing. In Maryland, the Battle of Antietam yielded 22,000 casualties to both armies in a single day. While the battles have raged throughout East and West, the enslaved have been seizing their own destiny. Thousands of men, women, and children have already escaped from plantations and have found refuge with Union forces. By law, the escaping slaves were still the legal property of their Southern owners. Their actions, in the midst of a rebellion, have forced the U.S. government to revisit a fundamental question. Were the escaping slaves free?
The simple fact that slaves have fled and slaves have been protected, in essence taken in as contrabands of war, has altered the shape of things, because we have a Fugitive Slave Act that says by law they're supposed to be returned to their rightful owners. And that, of course, has been challenged in the Supreme Court, and guess what? The Court of the Land said, the law is the law. So here, the war's altered that. The war has said the law don't mean squat.
And it says that on the first day of January in the year of our Lord, 1863, all persons held as slaves.
Word of the Emancipation Proclamation spreads among the over 3 million people in bondage. The news is met with a combination of joy, relief, and trepidation.
My brothers and sisters, do you realize what that means? We're free. We're free.
So they were happy, but cautiously optimistic.
Signed Abraham Lincoln in Washington, D.C.
At least they knew that the Emancipation Proclamation symbolized the promise of freedom, that there was now hope because their own needs were legitimized by the President of the United States.
And yet, Lincoln's proclamation only applies to slaves within the rebelling states. Under the the proclamation